those still under the notion that blockchain technology is all about cryptocurrencies, well, it's not. This morning, we talk about how this technology is helping build smart cities. Take Myanmar's Yatai City, for example. It's a $15 billion, 120 square kilometer smart city project over in Myanmar. Now, we've got one of the guys supporting Yatai's smart ecosystem with us in the studio today to explore possible applications right here in the Philippines. Douglas Gan, BCB Blockchain CEO. Welcome to the show, Douglas. Great to have you.
Thanks, Michelle. Great to have you.
Okay, so before we go to the Smart City Drive, let's talk about your 15 million peso funding investment, which is supposed to help fund startups, innovator accelerators here in the Philippines under a DOST program. Talk to us about this funding that you're giving us.
Yeah, so the 15 million pesos is a grant. So we're providing it for free to startups that develop smart city solutions on our BCB blockchain. Yeah, so one of the criteria is they must be founded and created by a Filipino, local Filipino with a company in the Philippines.
So how exactly can the blockchain technology be used for smart city solutions? Can you give us an example?
One of the best examples I like to use is property transaction, asset ledgering.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, if the government recognizes the transfer of title deeds on the blockchain with smart contracts, you can buy and sell a property within 1 second. Right, because two of us, a buyer and a seller, can just agree on the terms and conditions, and we can transact immediately.
And this is already done in other countries?
Not yet, because asset ledgering is a difficult item.
But it's a start.
Yeah, it's a start. But we're doing the ledgering in Myanmar's Yatai City. Yeah.
For property.
Yeah, for property.
So it's already
cars.
being done.
Yes.
But when you use the blockchain technology, they always say that you take out the regulator, you take out government out of the equation. Is that how does that work? I mean, when you do these transactions, I imagine you'll need some government supervision, some government involvement.
You probably need government involvement. You probably need government support to recognize that because the government have a framework and a structure for law, right? So then that will be what will lead to the enforcement. So for example, if I buy a property from you, the only way to safeguard my interest that this is really mine is the law protecting me. So that's where the government comes in.
This is already being done. Is this being done in Singapore? Not yet.
No,
because
not
Singapore is moving towards a smart city as well. No, not yet. And okay, for those who are wondering, if we use blockchain technology for asset transactions, will it mean cheaper transaction fees?
Oh yes, definitely. Way cheaper.
Would you have an estimate, a percentage perhaps?
Yeah, because it's just one transaction, so it wouldn't exceed $10 at maximum. Yeah, it could be $1 even.
For transaction fees, because right now, you buy a 6 million property, when you add in all the documentation, the transaction fees, comes up to like 8-10% of the property value. So it's a pretty big savings.
Yes, pretty big savings. Of course, that excludes taxes.
Okay, not including taxes yet.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about this 15 million peso funding. Are there specific projects that you're already looking at to fund? You mentioned earlier something that the University of Batangas is doing.
Yeah. The University of Batangas.
Because you're also partnering with 11 universities, correct?
Yeah, 12.
12, okay.
Yeah. 12 universities. So we did both the work. So we partner with DOST, we also partner with the TBIs and also the universities.
Okay.
Yeah. Then one of the universities, Batangas University, they have this their own farm. So they develop coffee beans together with their students. So Philippines is not really known for coffee beans, but they're trying to create their own coffee beans and shout out to the world that Philippines can also make good coffee beans. So coffee beans is they can use the blockchain ledger to trace from the development of the first coffee bean seed all the way till it's produced into the retail bag.
Because the place of origin, I found out recently, is very important.
Yes.
You can grow the mango here, but if that seed comes from another place, it's a whole different variety already.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so let's now, before we move on, this is not your first investment in the Philippines. You've already invested in other tech innovators, incubator, like Kubo, for example. What are the KPIs that you use? How many startups are you looking to fund? How far can 15 million pesos go? And how do you judge whether the investment is a success?
We are looking at 750,000 pesos per startup.
Okay.
So that will be about 20 to start. And then once that runs out, we will top up. The idea is that we need to drive blockchain adoption, and to accelerate that, we